Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess. She had everything a young princess could ask for. Friends, sparkly shoes, a good job, princessing, and epilepsy. Not many people knew about the epilepsy, especially not strangers, because they couldn't see it. All they could see was a beautiful princess. Except for when she had an absent seizure. "Oh, the princess is off in daydream land again," they would laugh. "Wake up, princess." The princess would come to and smile and laugh, pretending to be part of the joke. But really, she didn't know what was going on, because she'd been having an absent seizure. One day, the princess was having a lovely stroll along the river. But suddenly, she felt very nauseous. She didn't know if it was the epilepsy medicine or the fact that a tonic-clonic seizure was impending. But she knew she felt very, very sick. Suddenly, without warning, she was sick on the river path. An elderly lady tutted at her. "The youth of today," she muttered under her breath, whilst a man in a business suit swerved out of her way, and looking disgusted, he said, "Big night last night." The princess felt alone and very scared. Not just because no one understood, but because she did not know when her next seizure would strike. It was like having a stalker, waiting to be attacked, waiting to be knocked down, not knowing whether she would be alone or in company when it happened, not knowing if she would be in a safe place when the attack came. One day the princess got on the train. Suddenly she started to get very confused. She didn't know where she was and couldn't remember where she was going. She felt an aura, a strange feeling of déjà vu, like a wave spreading through her head, an intense fear, a horrible taste in her mouth. Her lip went numb, and suddenly the world was a funny colour. She started to cry, asking strangers for help. "Where am I?" she said to one. "I'm frightened," she said to another. One stranger thought she was drunk and ignored her. Another was frightened by the blank expression in her eyes. And suddenly, the stalker was there. And the princess had a tonic-clonic seizure on the train, head hard on the floor when she dropped. And because the strangers did not know to put a cushion under her head, she kept hitting it on the floor while she had a seizure. The princess wore a medical bracelet, but not many people know about medical bracelets, and so none of the strangers thought to check it for information. So no one knew about the medication in her bag, which could have reduced the number of seizures that she had that day. The princess had seizures for 2 hours solid, and eventually had to be put in a coma. The recovery was long and painful, but she did recover until the next seizure, and the next, and the next, and the next.
But do you know what to do if you see someone having an epileptic seizure? Well, our friends at the Meath Epilepsy Charity in Godalming have come up with a really easy way to remember, all based on the word action. So here we go. First letter, A, is for assess. Assess the area where the person is having the epileptic seizure. Make sure that there's nothing else around them that can injure them, and continue to reassure them while you're there. C, cushion. Cushion their heads, either with a coat, a scarf, a handbag, your own bag, just so long as their head will stop hitting the floor while they're seizing. T, time. This is really important. Make a note of the time when the seizure started, and if they continue past 5 minutes, then you must call an ambulance. It's also really helpful if you can try and work out and remember how many seizures they've had in that period of time. And our next one is I, for identity. Often a lot of people who suffer from epilepsy will have a medical bracelet. On there will be their name and really important medical information. So take a look at that, and having their name will be really helpful when you start to reassure them when it is over. O for over. When it's over, put them into the recovery position and continue to reassure them by speaking their name. Finally, N. Never. Never try and restrain someone when they are having a seizure. Also, never put anything in their mouth and never give them any food and drink. Following these simple rules can make a life-changing difference for someone with an epileptic seizure.